Wonderful. Can you, Carol, can you pull the agenda up?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, please. We're 14. Yeah. Yeah, you can just Okay, so hopefully it will work. So the next item is item 14, objectives and strategies, committee meeting minutes, which are pages 35 to 40. To receive these minutes and to approve the actions. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look through what's there. So any questions or comments? Yes, Councillor Atkins.
Just really, I was elected chair, so if anybody wants to sort of grill somebody, it's probably me, but we tried to make it sensible in terms of the original objectives, our priorities as were set out for May 2027, and the progress in the right-hand column that we made towards that. We've hopefully lined them up, I think 100% in terms of what we have done since. And I think towards the end of it, we actually talk about the communication strategy, that we will look at the communications strategy separately now that we're back on board with Breakthrough, who did our original communication strategy report, because we haven't been perhaps as assiduous in following the recommendations in that as we could be through constraints of all sorts of things. But, you know, now is a good time with the new year and to review the strategy. So that will be coming up at some stage when we get some dates. Terrell is already in contact with Breakthrough to set something up there. But I mean, there's nothing earth-shattering. We all got a consensus view on most of this, or all of it in terms of consensus. So if there's anything that people are unhappy about or don't understand, they need to speak now or forever hold their pieces.
Well, some of it's underway anyway. I think the only thing I would probably point out is we've got a full complement of the council award report, is that there is provision on there for all councillors to identify any training needs or any opportunities which they feel might be missing for their own development as a councillor. So I would urge if anyone sitting here does feel that actually I'd like a bit more training in a certain subject or protocol or whatever it might be, please, you know, come and either ask, say to me, or speak to the clerk and the team so we can get that in place as you know, practically possible. So otherwise I think it's yeah, it's really well, isn't it? So,
And it's also quite clear that although it's headed priorities and objectives for 23-27, it's reviewed in January, so there's no mistake. This is the review copy, and it also says that on the footer. Because as we've got so many versions of documents, it's really important that people understand what you're looking at, and that is actually carried through on each page. So if you do happen, as I do, to print stuff off and it gets separated, you know what you've got and you know which version you've got.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Councillor
Ellison. I understand, you know, the dates that this is in, but a constituent asked me to ask a little bit about what's happened to the fair trade ideas that were a long time ago, around 2020, I think, or even before that. It's not on this particular set of objectives. I don't know if you knew about it.
I know about that. I had an email from somebody about it, and it's in hand to explore.
Good. That's all I wanted to
Thank
mention.
you. Yeah.
It's in hand to explore. That's lovely. Thank you.
So, okay. So, any other comments? If not, can I propose it?
Well, as Chair, can I propose it?
Well, Councillor, your second. I was going to say either way. It's fine. And then can we have a show of hands, please? Okay. Next is Councillor Underhill. Your notice of motion, UK Town of Culture. Do you want to
Yes, thank you. Right, I think we all knew that Bradford was the City of Culture 2025, and that's been very successful for Bradford as a city. And for 2028, the government have brought out not only the City of Culture, but the Towns of Culture. And there's 3 grades of towns: small, medium and large. Small town, less than 20,000 inhabitants; medium, between 20,000 and 75,000, and at large, over 75,000. And reading through it, my idea was, well, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. So I would like to ask the Town Council for support for entering the Teignmouth as the small UK Town of Culture 2028. It's there on our agenda. Gives you the idea of exactly why, and what we have to do. There's no financial implication to the Town Council. It's just that as a matter of course, a town or parish council has to be a member of the guiding board, as it were. We have several entities already on board, waiting really for the council to say yes, carry on, and then we can put the wheels in motion to start. But our Town of Culture, culture represents many facets: historical, arts, crafts, artists, all sorts of things. And I think you'll agree, although I've only been in town for 12 years now, Teignmouth has a long history: maritime history, artistic history, heritage, etc., etc. And it's really worthwhile having a go and see what we can do. If we don't get anywhere near the finals, at least we've brought Teignmouth to everyone's attention. We've developed, I think, a community, brought various facets together. So ultimately, everyone will have gained from this. But just to give you an idea, should we be shortlisted, the government will then give us £60,000 to actually develop our bid further. If we're to win, it would be £250,000. So, there's something to aim for, but I think the bottom line of this is bringing all facets of the community together and making Teignmouth, well, a greater town than it already is. I'll put this to the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, any questions? Any thoughts?
I've got a question.
Councillor Baker?
Did you say several entities, Keith?
Sorry?
Did you say several entities that are interested or
Well,
engaged with?
I'm talking about people that want to be engaged in to put the project together.
Obviously, Teignmouth Chamber of Trade and Commerce.
Yes,
Yeah.
Heritage Centre, the Arts Quarter, TAR, these sort of things.
Thanks very much.
Anyone else?
Can I nominate Keith to be our liaison person?
Sorry, councillor Crosby, Sam, I think
Oh,
you already
sorry.
said then.
Can I nominate Keith to be our liaison person for this?
Okay, councillor Jackson, do you want to?
I was just saying, I think it's a lovely idea, and I think that there are a lot of opportunities for us to gain from this. I'm pretty sure that most people could support it, but I just want to know a little bit more about the sort of things we have to do. I don't mean us personally in the town have to do. Can you
Initially, we have to express an interest by March 31st.
Yeah.
And it really is putting a précis together of what the town is, our background, our cultures, etc., etc. Why we want to be involved, what good it's going to do for the town, how it's going to improve the town, improve the community, bring everyone close together, and obviously hopefully bring investment into the town. So those are the sort of areas that we're looking to put together.
thank you, that explains it a lot.
Yes, councillor.
I hate to bang on about the neighbourhood plan, but if you want a quick summary of the areas, a lot of it is in the introduction there. There's a big introduction about Timoth and its history and everything that goes with that. And there's a big government document about the whole deal, which explains the sort of things it will be looking at, because there's things like our maritime heritage and the boat building and all the things that go along with that. And my only reservation on most of this is to put it together is going to be a huge body of work. Consider it, if you like, an application to host the World Cup or the Olympics. You need a team of people who are going to more or less just be dedicated to doing that and have the resources to do it. And I'm not really sure that it will be possible to get a coherent expression of interest together by the end of March that will have any standing. I'd like to think the government will continue this sort of funding, and maybe we start preparation for 2029 the next year. But there's a huge body of work that will need to be researched and pulled together, even by the specific people wherein they have the specialisms. And you know, everybody is busy. The Heritage Centre has work to do. TARG has work to do. So I'm a little in need of convincing that it's feasible currently starting from nowhere to get it up and running with a coherent future, because you've got to, I believe, if I remember right, you've got to specify what you want to spend your 330 grand on if you win. Have I misplaced that? So you've got to have a target in view. And if you're thinking, oh, we could rebuild the pier, well, 330 grand is not going to go anywhere to rebuilding a pier. So it's got to be something that's achieved, well, smart, you know, measurable, achievable, realistic, and everything that goes with that. And I'm not sure that we are in a position to do that currently. It's certainly something that we could start work on just as a community project, leading forward perhaps to another year's application. But, you know, those are just my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, Jack, do you want to start?
Yeah,
Thank you.
so, I quite understand what you mean by the amount of work doing. The only thing is that I think if we don't ever have a go at anything, it might not come up as an opportunity that people are willing to do it. At the moment, we've got some people who are willing to do it. Why don't we just say yes and let them have a go? If they fail, they fail. But if they don't, we've got somewhere wonderful. So to me, it's worth having a crack at.
Councillor Phillips.
Yes, I agree. I think we should have a go, and I commend Keith for bringing this to the council. I think it's a really good idea. I'll put Tim on that. If you don't try, then you've got to buy a lottery ticket. If you're not in it, you've got to be in it to win it. Not everybody wins. But if it's not successful this time, we will learn from the experience of putting together a plan of action. You know, we may not succeed this time, we'll try to, but we will learn from the experience of applying for it and say, oh, next time we'll do this, we'll say this, we'll do that, and that might be on to a winner. So I think we should give it a go. Why not?
I did, yes, Councillor Rose.
I'm very much agree with some of the councillors about having a go. The thing is, one thing you can guarantee 100%, you will fail if you don't try. So I think it's very important that we go for it and actually look to see if we've got people who are interested, people who are motivated. We never know when this may be a one-off opportunity. But I also appreciate the fact that there is an awful lot of work that's going to be involved in order to get somewhere, but I do think we should go.
Thank you. I did have a look actually. I saw that the Devon County Council has got some information about it on their website, which is actually quite useful, which talks about what you can include as part of this project. So I'd recommend, if you want to have a look, go onto the Devon site because there is some really good information. When I looked into this, what it told me is actually you can lodge your expression of interest now, but the applications are in by the end of March. So I was getting, one of my questions was actually, has that expression of interest been registered yet, or is it the intention to do it
It's the
as soon as?
intention after this evening.
Right, okay, perfect. I think also we need to be careful of the language that we're using with what we're determining, because it is not the town council that is doing this.
No, that's what
It is, so we need to be clear about that. We are, what Councillor Underhill is proposing is that we support the chamber effectively, isn't it, really, that's doing that and as he's set out. There is going to not be any financial commitment, nor be an active participant in the bid process. Councillor Cox helpfully has just proposed Councillor Underhill to be the conduit. What I just want to check, does that conflict you in any way between your role as a town councillor and being chamber head, but also then with the work that this actually would involve? Because for me, it feels very logical. This is your baby, so run with it, but at the same time also with the awareness that I don't want to find yourself in a position where actually you can't do something because of possible conflict, or alternatively it is quite a big, and as quite rightly pointed out, that this is going to be quite a big package of work to be done. I think it's an exciting project, that's my view, but just want to check with you.
Not just relating to putting this package of work together,
Yes.
there's a dozen or so people who are all behind this, who
Yes.
want to make it work. As far as the conduit is concerned, the honest answer is I don't know. You know, I don't know what sort of obstacles that we might come up against, so I can't really say that. If you want to nominate an alternative, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay. I should just checking, because of course the motion actually does ask for a representative within the town council, so we have to look at that when we're voting on this. Yes, one more time, then again, because we're not supposed to,
I'll be very quick. I just wanted to say, I do understand where Joan's coming from, because I know how much enormous work you put into the plan. So, but hopefully, you put more in than you should have done, because there was not much support for you, I don't think, in that particular plan. But hopefully, from people all around the town, that will be different. It's not just us. It's people in the town.
Can I just come back and sort of
okay,
answer
yes,
to
and then
that?
we're going to, go
I
on.
think the biggest problem is actually going to be somebody to type it all up and sort it all out and present it, because that's the biggest body of work, and if everybody's doing individual
That's their,
contributions.
that's their problem to do.
Absolutely right, but what I'm saying is, somebody needs to have that on the horizon to see whether it's even feasible to continue, because there's nothing worse than starting a project and nearly getting there, but not even managing to pull it together. I understand everything you're saying about, you know, you've got to be in it to win it, but hey, it's so bitterly disappointed if you can't actually get everything pulled through at this stage.
And that doesn't fall to this town council.
No.
That will be the group that is dealing with that, and the expectation is clear that they'll need to manage that in a very careful and productive way. But I don't think that's, like I say, that's, you will have
What's
heard.
the experience?
Yes. And obviously Councillor Underhill will have heard that this evening. So, okay, so, shall we have a proposal then for, does anyone want to propose the motion, and with the understanding that Councillor Underhill is going to be that conduit? Is that a proposal? Yeah. Thank you. And a seconder? Thank you. And anyone against? I better ask, just,
I'll abstain.
you will abstain? Okay, so one abstain. Okay.
Point of order, Chair. Did Councillor Cox propose?
I didn't see her here, so.
No, I did, but it's been included in the motion, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, that's why we're going through Councillor Underhill, who's been gently volunteered. All right. Well, you won't be saying well done, but yeah, okay, so can we have a show of hands, please? Thank you. So we'll yeah, okay, I'm fine, thank you. Good luck, keep us up to date with that. Okay, next item is the LGR Devon government consultation. Council is asked to note that the 7-week consultation period is commenced. And obviously you've got the link there, that's on our website. Presumably, are you going to share this so that
Yeah, can do.
it would be helpful if it's shared? If you do see it on social media postings, obviously share, take part, and encourage others to take part as well with that. But you don't need to vote on that, we're only noticing.
Can I just report that there was a lot of worry about the off-book SEND spending that will.
Councillor Cox, no, you're not reporting on SEND spending, not now, this is
It's
not.
to do with
it's not
LGR,
budget.
never mind, okay.
When the
I'll put it
item
on
is,
Facebook.
the LGR is not an actual item that we're discussing, other
It's
than
not.
to note the link and the consultation period is
It's
now
on the agenda.
out. So, but that's all that is on the agenda for us to deal with tonight.
Can I ask a question, please?
If it's on that,
Yeah, it
if
is.
it's on about this, the website and the consultation.
Are we as a town council going to make a response to the consultation? Do we need a group of people to sit and work through? Because my cursory inspection was that you've got everybody's proposals. Because they've outlined the ones from our surrounding area and look at how that might work for us. Now, again, that's a huge body of work to do.
If I may.
Yes, you can, yes.
The reason I put it on the agenda in that manner is for personal responses.
Yeah.
Because it lists every single option for them, and there are many. So how you'd ever reach a consensus, I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fine, I just wanted to be clear.
Okay, right, thank you. Okay. The next is the T-Bridge asset transfer update. Again, council is asked to note that the clerk has responded to TDC. You will recall that we had, the clerk and I had met with a couple of representatives from TDC back in October, wasn't it? Must have been. Regarding assets held by Teignbridge District Council. And then on the 21st of October, we had an informal meeting with councillors here at Britton House, where we updated you all about those discussions, and we looked at various areas of Teignmouth, and we have fed the observations from our councillors back to TDC. The clerk and I are just awaiting now some more information back from those two representatives, and we will be bringing that back to obviously to councillors once we've got those updates. And I think that's as far as we can go for tonight, just to say that we will, let's say, be keeping you fully appraised on any discussions that take place over all assets and interests with our fellow councillor colleagues. Do you need to add anything to that?
No, nothing is obviously off or on the table at this stage. The assets that you identified, we have simply asked for more information on those, and Neil Blaney and Tom, who came to see the chair and I, they've allocated the Teignbridge officer to liaise with us. So we just wait that information.
Right. The next item on our agenda is to watch a video. This is about an asset, Devon SLCC asset transfer video. What we are going to be doing is turning off the broadcast, because anyone who is watching that broadcast, all they will see is us looking at the screen. There will be nothing they'll see. So it will turn off the broadcast. However, the video can be accessed by members of the public separately, because it will be it's on YouTube, so it's online. So people can still watch it where we're watching it, but they won't be able to see us watching it, if that makes sense. It is about an hour. Just making sure everyone is comfortable before we start that, I would suggest that we'll just have a 5 or 10 minute quick comfort break if anyone wants to use the facilities, or go and have a quick cigarette, or whatever it might be, before we sit down and watch this video. It is a really important video for all councillors to watch, because of the understanding. So it takes. Hang on. Okay. So it's I make that just 5 to 7. So can we have 10 minutes? So 5 past. Okay.